back in the day when I was on traditional radio, we would talk about crazy laws that were proposed by right-wingers in the state legislature across the country. And I remember criticism from some people like, why are you cherry picking these guys? And then about 5 or 6 years later, the law gets adopted by, 3 or 4 states, or that politician ends up being a congressperson, or I don't know, the vice president of the United States. Here is, so Washington State Representative, a guy named Matt Shea. A document that was associated with him in some way. I don't know. It's a 4-page outline. It's a manifesto of sorts. I don't know did he draw this up, or he wrote this and then a local sheriff found it. And it's basically outlining, I guess you could call it a holy war that this elected state representative is planning, foreseeing. Here we go. Here's the report from local channel NBC6 in Washington State.
Statements like, you fight to win so you don't have to fight again. Make an offer of peace before declaring war. If they do not yield, kill all the males.
Pause it for a second. This is from the document. God is a warrior. You fight to win so you don't have to fight again. It's actually also, I think Machiavelli said something to that effect. Maybe Sun Tzu, too. Make an offer of peace before declaring war. And if they do not yield, kill all the males.
Kill all the males. Those are lines from a 4-page document that Spokane Valley Representative Matt Shea has taken credit for writing. And tonight, because of that document, Shea now finds himself at the center of a potential FBI investigation.
That 4-page document titled Biblical Basis for War is a radical Christian call to arms, outlining 14 steps for seizing power and what to do afterwards in explicit detail. It calls for an end to abortions and same-sex marriage, saying everyone must obey biblical law, and if enemies do not yield, quote, all males will be killed. We reached out to Shea multiple times to ask about this manifesto, contacting him on Facebook, calling his legislative offices in both Olympia and Spokane Valley, as well as his Spokane law firm. So far, he has not returned our calls, but his legislative aide did tell us that our message was being passed along to Representative Shea.
What I'm about to expose.
He did, however, post this video on Facebook in late October. In it, Shea admits to distributing the document, but calls it a summary of a series of sermons in the Old Testament, or a, quote, just war theory philosophy. Tell me what this is.
This right here is the biblical basis for war.
The manifesto, which was only given to a few people close to Shea, was made public by this man.
It is, quite frankly, one of the more horrific things I've ever read as far as somebody's agenda. I don't believe that this type of thought process has any business being in our government. And quite frankly, it just goes against the philosophy of everything that liberty is meant to be. You don't kill people because they don't subscribe to your religion. You don't advocate for that. And I think it's necessary that people understand the mindset that they would be voting for if they voted for Matt Shea.
There you go, folks. We're going to have in a couple of weeks somebody on to talk about Mike Pence, the guy who literally wrote the book on Mike Pence. And I don't know if he has done one of those like crib sheets, what do you call it, monarch notes of all the reasons why you can wage war if you're a Christian theocrat, but seems like it might be close.
Failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
There you go. You want to be able to access that stuff quickly. That makes sense to me.